Hey, joining us now, he's become just such a great friend of ours. And my only regret is that I was not a resident of Virginia when Jim Gilmore was the governor, although I was in Norfolk, in Virginia, the morning of 9/11. I was an executive at the time, and I was doing a training seminar at the Virginian Pilot, so I'd flown in actually that morning in their downtown office. So I was there while he was governor, but I was not a resident. But I've spent many a lonely night with former Governor Jim Gilmore on the campaign trail in New Hampshire, where the two of us had a special bond because we were stuck for a week staying in Motel 8 or something, the Super 8 Motel in Manchester. And you got to man up to stay there for a week. This is a great American. Now he's the head of the Virginia effort to win the state for the Republican nominee in 2016. And joining us now, former governor, former presidential candidate, and a very good friend of mine, Jim Gilmore. Governor, great to have you with us, sir.
Thank you, John. I have stayed in many second-best Marigold hotels during the campaign. I can promise you that.
You had to be there for that week in Manchester. And of course, Jim Gilmore gets up early. He's a very hard worker. So, I got to leave at like 5 a.m. for the shuttle to get over the Radio Row, and I'd be, stumbling around getting a cup of coffee, and there would be the governor, all dressed up, a suit on, ready to go out and shake hands and campaign. I'm like, my God, where do you get this? I was like, I got to get the shuttle and get a donut. And governor would say to me, "Don't eat that Danish. Go have an apple." So, but no, I ate the Danish. That's why he's in good shape and I'm not. Hey, Governor, I want to get to the convention on Saturday because I have to tell you, Governor, I was so upset by that and the way that went down. I was furious that you, as a presidential candidate and as a American leader during 9/11, got kicked off the ballot. I thought that was outrageous. And I had called Steve Albertson, who was on the nominating committee the day after, and I'm like, I don't know what you guys were thinking, but why did you do that? I mean, it was horrible. Everybody went home mad for no reason. And I wanted your assessment on that, Governor.
Well, John, I thought it was a pretty dismaying convention because the ultimate goal was to bring some unity. And there was a unity ticket offered by Trump, which would have included me and would have included John Hager and would have included Jerry Kilgore as people who had been statewide office holders for the Republican Party before. And people who I think were solid conservatives, and we were all thrown off of the slate by Ted Cruz and Ken Cuccinelli, and it was very bare knuckle. So that doesn't help unity. The point is not at this point. I mean, don't worry about me. I'm doing fine, and I think Kilgore's doing fine. And the affront and so on like that is something we can now put behind us because we have our candidate, and that's going to be Donald Trump. And we're going to move forward and talk about what Trump wants to do and compare Trump to Hillary Clinton. And I think we will carry Virginia. I think we will carry Florida. I think we will carry Pennsylvania and Ohio. And I think we'll win the general election.
I mean, we win those states. Donald Trump is president. He's going to win all the states that Romney won. There's no state that Romney won that Trump isn't going to win. But we all know that the road to the White House for a Republican runs through Virginia. And you are the head, basically, of the Republican effort to carry Virginia for Trump and now for the presumptive nominee, Donald Trump, in 2016. But the first thing we have to do is come together. And that convention on Saturday, I think you used the word dismayed. I think that's the appropriate word. I was disgusted by it. But, we worked hard, and I'm a Trump surrogate. Everybody knows that. We worked very hard to put together a slate that we thought would be unifying, reflective of the voters' will. There were still 6 people on there for Cruz, and I just don't know. For the life of me, Governor, I couldn't figure out what Cuccinelli's objective was. I couldn't figure it out, and I will never vote for Ken Cuccinelli again for anything for the rest of my life, ever, after what I saw Saturday. I saw him divide the GOP in 2013. I saw him divided in Harrisonburg, and I just don't think you win that way, sir.
Well, that's right. He took the stage to basically stick his thumb in the eyes of everybody that wasn't for him, and it was ugly and bare knuckle and all that. But now I think that the message for your radio people today is that we got to put the dismaying convention and that leadership, put that leadership away, and turn now to real leadership that's going to unite the party and to win the state of Virginia. Now, Chairman Whitbeck has asked me weeks and weeks ago to chair the Get Out the Vote and voter registration drive in Virginia, which I am doing together with professional people and volunteers all across the state. And I took that on before I knew who the candidate was going to be. Mm-hmm. I took that on with a commitment that we had to beat Hillary Clinton, we had to carry the state against Hillary Clinton and for our Republican candidate. And now we got a candidate, and I've taken a look at his positions and his issues, and I'm confident that we can win the United States generally and make Donald Trump the president.
Now, let's look at Virginia specifically. We're going to have to go up against a very formidable Terry McAuliffe machine. They've got a lot of political operatives on the ground in Virginia from his super PAC. They've got great leadership, and they're pretty much united. So it's going to be a formidable task, and we haven't won a statewide race in Virginia since Bob McDonnell in 2009, so we're like 0 for 7. So how do you cobble together, Governor, a coalition to defeat Clinton in Virginia in November?
I think it can be done, though. Because I think of the voice that Trump has been voicing, and that is anxiety that people have over their jobs, the lack of manufacturing jobs, the sense that the future is not secure. And this is all because of the policies of the Democratic Party. Now, let me be clear with your listeners. There are Democrats out there in your listening audience right now who are looking for a home. They want a different kind of direction. They want somebody that will secure their jobs, that will give their kids opportunity, real chance to opportunity. You know, the Democrats are going to try to say that Trump's a billionaire, and so he's not the kind of person the Republican Party ought to be offering. The truth is that there are people that want their kids to have an opportunity to be like Donald Trump, to have money, to succeed, and to have wealth and have success. That's the American dream, and that's the American way. They don't want this business, the socialistic ideas that the Democrats offer, where they want everybody to be sort of, poor, insecure people the rest of their lives, the way socialism always creates for people. They want somebody with an entrepreneurial opportunity for real success. So that's the contrast between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Hillary wants people to be poor the rest of their lives. Donald Trump wants people to have the opportunity to succeed.
Exactly. And I think it's about jobs and it's about opportunity. And there is a home, because I think there's a lot of Democrats in Virginia that might be open to looking at something else. Now, the first thing we have to do, Governor, is get Republicans in the states in Virginia, get conservatives, former people that backed Senator Ted Cruz, John Kasich, Marco Rubio, other candidates. We need to get them together and unify. Now, that's not an easy thing to do, because there's been a lot of hard feelings on both ends, a lot of nasty things said. But now, how do you, as the head, the chair of the Virginia effort to win the state, how do you bring these disparate factions together?
I think that we first of all, we point to the future that Hillary Clinton offers to the United States, to Virginia, and to the United States, and just examine that really closely and just make the case that that's not the future for the country, that is a socialistic past that we've had for the last 30 or 40 years, which has made people so insecure and so poor. And we have to turn away from this left-wing sort of approach to government. And I think Donald Trump will lead us that way. He's been very decisive about it. Look, I've been a movement conservative all my life. I was at the 1976 National Convention as an alternate delegate, and I was there for Ronald Reagan. So I've been a conservative my entire life. I think the conservative movement has lately been following false leadership. Instead, I think that we can rally around ourselves and really lead the state and the country in the right direction. Your listeners will recall that I ran on cutting taxes. Cutting the car tax when I ran for governor of Virginia, and I did that. I carried out what I wanted to do. Now, I will tell you, the General Assembly has been quietly reimposing that car tax, very quietly, over the last number of years, and I think that is deplorable. But this was a tax cut policy that I put into place in Virginia as a solid conservative that should continue. But that's the point I'm making is that Ted Cruz wasn't the only conservative that ever came on the national scene. There have been plenty of conservatives, and we can lead in the right way, and we can lead in the proper way. We can carry the Virginia. We can speak for people who are insecure about their jobs, about their children's future and their future, and really offer something that's really hope and opportunity. And I think that's going to be Donald Trump's message.
I think that is also, and I think that's how we can put a winning coalition together. For our listeners out there right now who are very disappointed today because their candidate, Ted Cruz, dropped out, what is your message to them, sir, specifically?
Well, my message is this. People were trying to find a candidate that they thought would lead us in a conservative direction, and many became persuaded that Ted Cruz was that person. I'm telling them now that they don't have to quit or give up. We still have a candidate that we believe can offer a good, solid, conservative approach to government, particularly when you compare that candidate, Donald Trump, to his opponent, Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is going to be bad for the state and bad for this country. She's going to continue the bad policies that we've seen over the last 8 years. She's very invasive in terms of the way reckless the way she approaches foreign policy. She definitely wants to eliminate Second Amendment rights. She wants to put people out of work in the coal fields. She's been sort of Bernie Sanders like, and that's not the direction this country wants to go in. And we now have a candidate that can win and can put more states in play, and we can carry Virginia. And I'm committed to it, and I think that we all need to do it together. And the Cruz supporters are welcome on this ship as we move forward to the future.
Governor, are you going to get the resources that you need in Virginia? Because one of the complaints in 2012 from your predecessors, Barbara Comstock and Pete Snyder, who ran the effort to elect Romney in Virginia, one of the things that they were saying is they didn't get the resources they needed. They didn't get the field authority they needed from the Romney campaign. Are you going to take steps to ensure that Virginia has the financial and ground team resources from the RNC it needs in order to win this state?
Well, I've been working with the RNC in this Team Virginia program, and I want to say again, I've been working with them before we knew who the candidate was going to be. Mm-hmm. I've been in touch with them, and they wanted somebody who could actually speak out for them. They expressed some nervousness that in the middle of this whole controversy that was going on in Virginia and elsewhere, that they weren't going to get any exposure or notice for anybody trying to speak out for unity. And so when I agreed to do it and began to appear at all the conventions, including, by the way, the Harrisonburg convention, speaking on behalf of unity in the party, they liked that a lot. And I think that they're relieved that there was a person who had held statewide office who was willing to step up to the plate even before we knew who the candidate was. So, I'm confident that that message of unity is something I can carry. Now, you ask a very serious question, and that is, are we going to have the money? Well, I speak to people all across Virginia and say that we're going to have to put the money up to carry this state. Let's not kid ourselves. The Democrats are well organized. This is a very left-wing organization. They know what they're trying to accomplish, and we can't let that happen.
All right, we're out of time. I want to thank former Governor of Virginia, Jim Gilmore, for being with us. Also, former presidential candidate right in this cycle. He was in 2 debates. Won both of them in my judgment now. He is the chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia's Team Virginia, the effort to win the state for Donald Trump in 2016, our presumptive now nominee. Governor, it's an honor to have you on. Please give my and Ann's best to Roxanne, and we look forward to having you on, sir, during this campaign cycle many times. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Appreciate your leadership.
It's a wonderful day in America.